Today we will present the Robin Hood Garden. As an introduction, we have architects Allison and Peter Smithson. The year was 1969 to 1972. The location was Poplar as London, England, and the style is brutalist architecture. The architects of this project are Allison and Peter Smithson, who led the vanguard of the 1960s centuries. The architectural emphasis was a reading of the doctrines of the post-war modern brutalist movement, which was intended to approach the cultural landscape. They were associated with Team X and rebelled against the philosophies of High Modern and the International Congress of Modern Architecture, SIAM, held in 1953. This building as a style is guided by brutalism. The term has its origin in pioneering modern architect and painter Le Corbusier use of béton brut, concrete in French. Banham put a twist on the French word to express the general horror with which this concrete architecture was great in Britain. As it's known as brutalist architecture was commitment to showing the materials in their raw state, giving the buildings a sense of grandeur typical of this style. It emerged after World War II and became popular due to the need for functional and shape structure that favored uniform and reconstruction of the contenders. First point is to analyze the context and the height. Robin Hood Gardens is surrounded by 4th Street, Walnut Street in the north, Cotton Street in the east, Poplar High Street on the south, and Robin Hood Lane in the west. Close to the building is the East Indian Dock Road, north on Wall Street, the Blackwall Tunnel approach northwest of the Robin Hood Line, and the Aspen Way south of the Poplar High Street. As Allison and Peter Smithson says, the central idea of Robin Hood Gardens is protection. For the height, it is a building has 10th and 7th floor respectively, which in relation to the context exists the old construction with 5 or 6 floor more and the new ones decrease in between 10 to 15 floor more.
The Robin Hood Gardens is surrounded by many roads with high traffic and in a port area. As we can see in the map around it there is a lot of industry and high-density human-made buildings. This makes it have few green areas nearby. The streets surrounding the project have intense traffic which generates a lot of noise. The solution to this was to create two irregular blocks that turn their backs to the outside environment and hosting a central space. One of the serious problems is the overcrowding of housing due to the high density of the area, as it was originally intended for population density of 140 people per acre. Robin Hood Gardens also responded to the social reality of that time, designed the housing with space such as bedrooms, kitchen and dining room towards the interior of the project, leaving the noise generated by the environment far away.
In the placement of the blocks can be seen the use of two typologies, the single stair and the duplex, where it responds to the social reality of the time. The bedrooms and the kitchen dining rooms towards the green interior, away from the nose and the access walkway with the living room towards the nosy side. This argument in the grouping responds to the typologies, where the choice formed a central courtyard that not only allowed the creation of the green space within the complex but also promoted social interaction between residents. This separation separates the blocks from vehicular traffic and the concentration of activities inside the complex, creating a safer and more communal environment. It consists of 11 walk-ins that connect the blocks and the different levels in a key of the suspended street.
Regarding the urban elements, there are four that are particularly notable. These are the stress-free zone. This is the one that is highlighted with orange color. It is protected from the annoying noise of the city. They try to protect this area from the outside by closing it between the blocks of houses, so it becomes controlled from the houses themselves. Its intention is to be a green and coherent, that all the houses share and they can look at. Streets in the sky. These were projected as a extensive and wide space that at the same time serve as a transit area. They also serve as a pre-access gathering space before entering the residence. Underground parking. The width of the parking streets at a certain depth to the facade, creating a line shadow that suggests the feeling of a floating structure. Outdoor gardens. These have a primarily decorative intention, as the architect's idea is to give greater prominence to what occurs within the complex, especially in the stress-free area, rather than focusing on the external surroundings.
Internal-external relationship of the project, some aspect with which the building is related or generates the link between interior and exterior is through the balconies, since they are formed by blocks which have a linear continuity from end to end. This generates access to your home in addition to directly creating a social space but which is established as an urban space. The building also seeks to have constant circulation, and the interior only relates to the people but excluding vehicular circulation to the outside in the entire area of the complex, denying vehicle access, creating protection for the interior space and isolation. For this reason, the parking space are outside the building and at level 0. Another characteristic is that to help open up a garden as a connection between its two modules and to integrate the project with the green area. The only relationship that it has towards the outside street is observed in its external facade that open towards the city with the balconies. The relationship between inside and outside in the project was manifested through the continuity of materials and textures, the visual connection window balcony, the integration of community space, and the transition between the building and nature. This integration reflected the architect's vision to create an environment where residents could experience a sense of community and belonging while connecting with nature and the exterior streetscape with functional design.
Complementary use of the house. We find these two complementary use: cultural and recreational facilities. Cultural space such as galleries or exhibition space are promoted through the corridors or streets in the sky. We find it in the blue graph. Community and urban gardens promotes the use of outdoor space for the community in urban gardens. This will have given residents the opportunity to grow their own fruits and vegetables, promote sustainability in social interaction. We can see in the middle of the project, which is a large green area, and in the graph represented by the yellow color.
Materiality and architectural language. In this project, these two factors merge in an exceptional way, submitting a clear and direct vision of these essence and structures. The brutalism language and the materiality of reinforced concrete communicate the brutalism style and at the same time is the function through architecture in this rawest state. Materiality in this context is not limited only to exterior facades, but extend to interior and common areas. The rock surface and the appearance of concrete became an important part of this spatial experience. Submitting its structural and constructive character essence in reflect to brutalism's philosophy on revealing the cycle form of the building, based on this structural and constructive truth. The choice to use reinforced concrete gives the project a strong visual identity and also come with structural honesty and the relationship with the environment in a direct and authentic way.
Conclusion, in our analysis we have 6 points. The first one is Robin Hood Garden was a brutalist social housing project that generates architectural and urban discussions beyond the construction, that means with the urban connect with the streets in the sky as the typology of Allison and Peter Smithson create. The second one is the Robin Hood Gardens project and its history offer valuable lessons about the intersection of architecture, society, and urbanism, and how architectural projects can have an impact beyond their physical design. This because this project was a strategic think about what people can have and the connection with the green parts, Central Park. The streets connect each floor about how we connect the community. As a third, the project underscored the importance of provide affordable quality housing for low-income communities. This because this project was placed in an abandoned place and all the affection after World War II, the people are start to increase just because interaction in social community. For the architecture and urban planning can influence the quality of people live and the creation of a strong community because the connection and start to create a new space that become more important than we think. The five buildings and space have the ability to shape the identity of a place and its people. And the last one, the story of Robin Hood Garden invites reflection on how urban planning and architecture can contribute to the creation of more sustainable, inclusive, and level-life environments in the future. This as a projection to the future to think about what we can do with brutalism and the urban planning that someone can have. This because to these days the Robin Hood Garden was shut down for some restriction that have place in their location.